Hi guys, welcome back to my channel once again here on YouTube, and welcome to my custom review for WCW Road Wild from 1999. Now, I used to like looking at the pictures in the official WCW magazine of Road Wild in particular because it was set outdoors, with all these bikers surrounding the arena, and it just looked really cool. I've seen the odd match here and there, but I've never watched a proper Road Wild pay-per-view in its entirety before, so this was quite an experience for me. So let's check out this cover artwork and then we'll go over the matches and everything. So there's the logo, looks pretty cool. I do like that. We've got Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Goldberg and Rick Steiner there on the front. WCW hits the road. So it has July the 11th, 1999 at the bottom, but that's incorrect because that's the date for the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view, as you can see on the VHS UK release of the tape there. So that's a bit of an error there, so I apologise for that, guys. I'll tell you the correct date in a minute when I go over the stats. There's the spine. There's the disc. And here's the back with various screenshots from the night. So we have Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash there, Sid Vicious and Sting, and Perry Saturn and I think that's Kurt Hennig there. Yep. WCW takes it to the street before a packed crowd of rowdy bikers. It's the fourth time Road Wild has joined Bike Week in Sturgis, South Dakota, and it gets crazier every year. A pumped up Hulk Hogan, back in red and yellow, defends both the heavyweight title and his career in a retirement match against Kevin Nash. The Macho Man Randy Savage battles Dennis Rodman for the affections of Gorgeous George. Diamond Dallas Page shoots for the US title strap in the hands of the Canadian crippler Chris Benoit, and other matches as well, guys. So let's have a look at the stats quickly. The correct date for this was August 14th, 1999, from Sturgis, South Dakota. We had 5,500 in attendance. It was the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, the venue for this. And the matches were, opening match, we had a 6-man tag. We had Vampiro and the Insane Clown Posse, Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope against Rey Mysterio Jr., Billy Kidman and Eddie Guerrero. It was a pretty cool opening match. I did like it. I've always been a fan of Insane Clown Posse, so it was good to see them wrestle. Even though they were only in WCW for a short time, it was good to see them here, especially at this event. As I said, the atmosphere for it, watching it was pretty cool, and I like the setting being outdoors as well. It was just really good, and you could just, if you watch the wrestlers carefully, you could see wrestlers with long hair, Billy Kidman and Eddie Guerrero, for example. The wind, the breeze blowing their hair. It's just different, like a different atmosphere altogether. It was really good. Yeah, so a good 6-man tag opening match. Mysterio, Kidman, and Eddie Guerrero picked up the victory there. We had a tag team match for the WCW World Tag Team Championship next. The New Jersey Triad members, Canyon and Bam Bam Bigelow, defending their tag team championships against Harlem Heat, Booker T, and Stevie Ray. And this was also a pretty cool match, and the crowd really getting behind Harlem Heat especially. And it was good because, a very unique way, as I would try and describe it, the fans would rev their motorcycles to cheer for Stevie Ray and Booker T, and I really liked that. I thought that was pretty cool. Me being a Sons of Anarchy fan and a fan of Aces and Eights when they were in TNA as well. I'm into all that kind of biker stuff. It's pretty cool, and yeah, this was really good. The crowd really got behind Harlem Heat, as I said, and I thought that the New Jersey Triad fought under Freebird rules. They would have DDP fight with them as well, because he was classed as a tag team champion, I'm pretty sure, around this time with them. But he wasn't involved in the match. It was just Canyon and Bam Bam Bigelow. And unfortunately, they dropped their titles to Harlem Heat. And Harlem Heat did deserve the win. And it was good because apparently that was their first tag team title win in a certain amount of years. So it was quite interesting to see them back together around that time. We had another tag team match next, and I thought to myself, 3 tag team matches in a row to start the pay-per-view. They should have spaced that out a little bit. It became a little bit annoying because I wanted to get a singles match in next because I just had 2 tag team matches. Not that there was anything wrong with those tag matches. It was just, it's just how I like to balance things out in my mind and stuff, and how I thought they would have balanced it out. But no, it was a 6-man tag. So we had the West Texas Rednecks, Barry Windham, Kurt Hennig, and Bobby Duncombe Jr. against the Revolution members Perry Saturn, Shane Douglas, and Dean Malenko. Now, this was the time when the West Texas Rednecks were singing the I Hate Rap, Rap is Crap song, and they had brought out a country and western kind of album, that country music. And yeah, that was their theme music. Very, very catchy, but quite annoying as well, from what I can remember it being at the time. And looking back on it now, I thought to myself, oh yeah, they had that. They had that as their entrance music, didn't they? Of course, yeah. I forgot they sang that. But yeah, like I said, another tag match. It was okay, not as good as the first 2 tag matches. The Revolution picking up the victory over the West Texas Rednecks in that one. Finally, we had a singles match for our 4th match in, and it was Ernest the Cat Miller with Sonny Ono against Buff Bagwell. And this one kind of got on my nerves a little bit because it felt like Buff Bagwell was struggling against the Cat, Ernest Miller, and I never really saw Ernest Miller as a threat, to any wrestler. I didn't think he was very good back then, and looking back on him now, I still didn't think he was very good. And, lots of interference as well with Sonny Ono being a pain in the ass outside. But Buff Bagwell managed to overcome it and pick up the big W, so I was okay with that. It didn't drag on too long either, so it was okay. Next up was my match of the night, which I'd probably say my match of the night, definitely. So we had the United States Championship on the line in a no DQ match. DDP challenging champion Chris Benoit, and yeah, that one certainly delivered. I was very happy with that. And Chris Benoit managed to retain the championship, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I really did like that. Match number 6, we had a singles match again. So we had Sting take on Sid Vicious, and it was a good match. I didn't mind it. This is a time when Sid started to get pushed as a big heel, and he picked up the victory over Sting. So it was sad for me to see the Stinger lose this one, but I could understand why at the time now, looking back. But yeah, it was fun for what it was. We had another singles match. Rick Steiner, who was a heel at this point, against Goldberg. And I forgot how good of a heel that Rick Steiner actually was around 1999. I didn't really care for him back much then because I was more interested in Scott around this time of watching him, when I did watch him on Nitro and Thunder. But then looking back on this now, he was actually a really good heel, and it's a shame he didn't accomplish more, as a heel. I think he won the TV title around this year, if I remember correctly, but other than that, he didn't do a lot else. And he certainly gave Goldberg an interesting match, even though it was short. We had it around 5 minutes. He was pretty dominant. He managed to get Goldberg's knee brace from him and use that as a weapon by wrapping it around his forearm. And yeah, the ref didn't really seem to give a shit about that, which was strange. But yeah, Goldberg managed to finally overcome Rick Steiner in the end. Spear followed by a jackhammer, the usual combo for the 1-2-3. So yeah, that was okay. We had Dennis Rodman, Rodzilla against Randy Savage, and this was another singles match, which I didn't mind as well. I'd forgotten about this one and the feud they had together over Gorgeous George until looking back on it when I went back to this and talking about it to a friend as well recently. Yeah, Savage managed to pick up the victory in that one. And then our main event was for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it was also a retirement match. So Hulk Hogan as the champion against Kevin Nash, the challenger. And if Hogan loses to Nash, he will obviously lose his World Championship, and he would have to retire from wrestling altogether. I didn't really go into this main event, with high expectations. I think it's to do with all the shit I've had to put up with those two in the past, with the finger poke of doom and them pretending not to be, them pretending to be enemies and not friends, and then they end up just mugging over the fans and wrestlers and everything else. And it just, I just didn't give a shit about them back then. So this one I was cloudy, in my mind it was all cloudy, thinking I'd forgotten about what happened and that, and from back then, and to go into this, it was, new to me in a way, because I'd completely blanked it from my mind. And it was surprisingly okay, and yeah, not as I was going to expect it to be. And yeah, Hogan managed to beat Nash, and yeah, pretty cool, I guess, for a main event. Obviously, around this time, a lot of wrestling fans were pissed off that we had old age wrestlers or legends in the ring wrestling in the main event when we have all that young talent to use that wasn't getting used. And yeah, they were getting criticized heavily about that. And to have Hogan still as champion and not lose this retirement match against Nash could have been frustrating for some. And yeah, it was good to see Hogan back in the yellow and red again, out of his Hollywood Hogan NWO colours of black and white. So it was like a fresh change for back then. So yeah, overall, I was really excited about watching this. Like I said, I just don't know, it was just different, and I'd never seen it in its entirety before, because it never got a release in the UK officially on VHS tape back in the day. They had gaps all over the place when it came to releasing VHS tapes in the UK, because we had Uncensored in March, followed by Spring Stampede in April. Then we had a gap for Slamboree. We didn't have that, or we didn't have the Great American Bash either. And then we went straight to the Bash at the Beach from July. Then it completely skips all the way until Starrcade. Very strange layout. I don't know why they did it. It could have been to do with like licensing issues. I'm not sure. Also, I wanted to point out the entrance music for some of these custom releases can be quite frustrating. I was going to say it in some of my other videos, I just forgot to bring it up until now. Like Goldberg's and Diamond Dallas Page's, for example, they're dubbed with completely different theme music to the original theme music which they used to have in WCW. And I think that's to do with them being a direct rip from the network. The quality's good. It's very good picture and sound, but that's my only nitpick about it, because I like the original soundtracks, not the stuff they put over it. Goldberg's, for example, had his WWE Goldberg theme and not the Invasion original WCW entrance theme music, if that makes sense, guys. And Diamond Dallas Page didn't have the self high five, rip off of Nirvana. It was a strange rework of it. It might have actually been his 2001 WWF theme music. I'm not too sure, because I can't really remember that one now. But yeah, it definitely wasn't. They weren't originals. Yeah, but yeah, sorry about that, guys. Overall score for this one, then, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Certainly a big difference from watching a pay-per-view from 2000, that's for sure. Less interference, and obviously they're more focused on pushing the older guys back then. Sorry. Yeah, I say it's worth checking out, worth revisiting if you want to revisit it. But yeah, that's my overall score for that, guys. Give me a thumbs up if I deserve one today. Feel free to comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you for taking time to listen to this review. Stay safe. Peace.